In 1959, François Truffaut released his first film, 400 Blows, which quickly became a success in the world of cinema. The movie is a semi-autobiographical coming-of-age story about Antoine Doinel, who represents the director himself. Antoine Doinel is a young boy who lives a complicated life at home and at school. He is disliked by his teachers, who see him as a troublemaker and a cheater in class and constantly punish him. At home, his parents, and especially his mother, have a tense relationship with him and do not know how to deal with his behavior. As a result, Antoine is often kicked out of school and hangs out with his friend René. Unfortunately for Antoine, his days of freedom from his house and his school are limited, as he eventually ends up in a juvenile jail after committing theft. He is later sent to an observation center from which he manages to escape. In 400 Blows, Antoine is constantly being scolded and circled by the figures of authority in his life. At home, we can see that Antoine's parents do not often express genuine affection for him, especially not his mother, who initially did not even want a child. At school, his teachers have low expectations for him and are sometimes rough on him. They specifically pick on Antoine, who has built quite a reputation around himself. Here is an example where we can see that the teacher is mocking Antoine.
Bravo! Nous avons un nouveau juvénal dans la classe, mais il est encore incapable de distinguer un alexandrin d'un décasyllabe. Primo Doinel, vous allez me conjuguer pour demain. Allez à votre place.
Antoine seems to compensate for this humiliation and lack of freedom by trying to act like a grown man himself, even though he's very young. Indeed, he can be seen smoking in several scenes, sometimes with his friend René, drinking and conducting shady deals. At the end of the movie, as he is being interrogated, he even explains that he tried to pick up girls because his friends told him where he could go to do so. Antoine's freedom makes him grow up too fast and does not allow him to live a fulfilled childhood. Now for the film's realism. I understand that the film was trying to go for a believable story, but I occasionally struggle to perceive the story as realistic. I do recognize, however, that this is probably because of the difference between nowadays and the period during which the film was made. Being unaware of your child's location was probably more widely tolerated back then than it is now. I was especially shocked when I saw that René's father only lightly scolded him after finding out he had been smoking. Also, I found that the dialogue was sometimes quite unrealistic. For example, when Antoine's mother goes and talks to the judge, she does not seem that distressed. This might be because she's not too fond of her son, but I still expected more from her. Overall, I thought that this film was very focused on the psychological aspect of growing up in a difficult environment, and I did enjoy watching it. I can see why it was such a success, and I would be interested in watching more of Truffaut's movies.